Hello. I've been doing some thinking recently, and I've noticed that there are many mid-size SUVs for sale today, and most of them are boring. They'd be great for my aunt, so she can have the feeling of good road presence as she heads down to Costco to pick up some mums. But for me, many of these are just transportation. The rental car that takes you from the airport to the funeral for your wife's former piano teacher. You're just kind of there. Clearly, this is not the life that I want to live, driving around a bland car in my already bland life. Luckily, a car that breaks this mold of mediocrity is the Lexus GX460. At first glance, this is just a Lexus SUV that looks nice. But as with fine art, the longer you look, the more details you start to notice. The nearly vertical windows, the verticalness of the styling. It's luxurious, but it has an underlying rugged nature. This is best explained once you understand what the GX460 is. It's not just another RX or NX or UX, but instead, this is based on the Land Cruiser Prado, the thinner brother of the full-size Toyota Land Cruiser. Quick lesson. As most of you already know, the Land Cruiser is Toyota's range-topping, full-size, body-on-frame SUV. They also take almost all this hardware and put it in a smaller platform, the Land Cruiser Prado, which until recently was not available in the United States. The GX takes this rugged SUV and gives it the Lexus treatment. The GX460 was produced from the 2010 model year all the way until 2023. And over this 13-year production run, in typical Lexus fashion, it received 2 facelifts. Toyota/Lexus invest heavily in the longevity of their models. And so while they'll typically never have the most cutting-edge infotainment technology, they will have quite a sizable facelift, or 2, in order to keep the public interested. This is the 3rd iteration, and as probably wouldn't surprise you, similar to a human person having a facelift, after the 2 procedures this car has endured, it does look the most extreme of the 3. This is not Lexus's worst example of this, but the grille really has grown over the years, and every feature is more prominent. But stating the obvious, all 3 versions of this car look pretty much the same. They do have one quality that has always impressed me, and that is humility. Although this is a luxury car, I really do think that this is a humble set of wheels. From the simple roots of the Land Cruiser Prado, even to the name. The first generation of this model was the GX470, named thus because it was powered by a 4.7-liter V8. The second generation, the car we're reviewing, is the GX460, named after its 4.6-liter V8. When naming this, the successor, they gave it a smaller number. What other modern car has done that? This simple fact speaks to this car's humble nature. The successor to this car is the brand new GX550. Wow, that must have a huge 5.5-liter V8, right? Wrong. The 3rd generation Lexus GX is powered by a 3.4-liter V6. But rather than naming it the GX340, the Lexus marketing team must have thought that the number has to keep growing. Interesting. The GX has always had unique styling that set it apart from most other cars on the road. The GX470 looked like a narrow SUV with fender and body cladding bolted on. Visually, it looked like it had 2 separate layers. The GX460 is an evolution of this design and more gradually blends together these 2 layers, while still retaining the awesome bulging fenders. What's really cool is you can see it causes these rear doors to have a very interesting shape. The rear taillights flare out at the bottom following the contour of the bodywork, and you could even get those taillights in a clear finish, depending on the year. Another noteworthy feature on the exterior of the GX is the entrance to the rear cargo area. While almost every SUV on sale today has a vertically lifting rear hatch, the GX actually has a side-swinging rear door. Some of you may be thinking, but what if another car parks too close behind me and I can't open my rear door? Firstly, relax. And secondly, the Lexus engineers have already thought of this. That's why they've installed a rear glass hatch that you can open up separately from the door. It's great for throwing in a quick backpack or pineapples. I don't know.
Historically, the Land Cruisers and GXs of previous generations had large, inconvenient, third-row seats that were strapped up to the sides, consuming 30% of your usable space and creating quite a handsome blind spot. Here, these are replaced by flat folding seats, which disappear when not in use, thus returning precious cargo space.
We also get another benefit. In the GX460, the rear cargo load floor is 16 feet off the ground. This is comical. I don't know how children would get in the back of this. I don't know how my mother would put groceries in the back of this.
The high load floor exists because underneath the third row of seats lies a full-size spare wheel. Personally, I think needing a forklift to load your trunk is a worthwhile trade-off to not have an ugly space saver spare.
Moving forward to the passenger compartment, we retain the elevated seating position and great field of view you get from the Land Cruiser Prado, while also benefiting from nice leather seats and all the other usual Lexus pleasantries. Obviously, it doesn't become a Rolls-Royce Cullinan, but you do have a rugged SUV that's a bit more pleasant to drive on the roads every day, all without making too many compromises on its strong off-roading pedigree.
The initially launched GX460 and its first facelift had pretty nice, typical Lexus interiors. But the best interior was in the second facelift. This benefits from all the advancements that Lexus had over the production run. You could even get captain's chairs in the second row, for those of you who get excited about captain's chairs. The interior really is a pleasant place to be.
When driving the GX460, I like to keep in mind what it is. Since we didn't have the 2021 Land Cruiser Prado in the United States, the closest thing would be the Toyota 4Runner. And with that off-roady baseline in mind, this actually feels very nice. It rides rougher than the equivalent RX, but with the full leather interior and the adaptive variable suspension, it has a nice charm on the road to it. Like, it has character. I really like the driving position and the vertical dashboard, and the overall size is much more maneuverable than the full-size Lexus LX, despite the fact that I love the LX. Every GX in the United States came with a 4.6-liter V8, putting out 301 horsepower, which, for a mid-size SUV, that really is all you need. It makes it not feel sluggish. Two of the most desirable SUVs on sale today are the Mercedes G-Class and the Land Rover Defender. People love their off-road oriented charm and unique styling. The Lexus GX460 brings that same adventurous spirit, while also benefiting from Lexus's proven reliability, all at a much more affordable price point. A lot of cars will be decent transportation that will leave you thinking, that was a good car. The GX460 is the type of car that, over time, becomes more than just the metal, glass, and plastic. It becomes an old pal ready to go on your next journey. So, if you're in the market for a mid-size SUV, I'd recommend the GX460. Maybe just save up gas money. Please leave a comment down below of what car you'd like to see next, and I may or may not do it. And I'd like to remind you, you do have the option to like or subscribe if you want. Thank you so much for watching, and hope you all have a great week. See you hopefully soon. Usually a relative term with these videos, but thank you.